Hello, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to tell you about something that I don't want to tell you too much about. And that is that we recently had, one of the best at-home escape room experiences that we've ever experienced. It came courtesy of the wonderful Ruth, who you've now seen in the Resident Evil Village live streams. Thank you, incidentally, for being so welcoming and bantery with her. I'm glad that she was a welcome addition. And she brought into the house a couple of weeks ago this, the Cemetery of the Night, part of the Exit the Game series from Cosmos Games. And this is essentially an escape room in a box. It's for between 1 and 4 players, age 12 and up. This is level 3 out of 5 levels of difficulty from novice to expert. And it says on the back, playtime between 1 and 2 hours. And it's fair to say this took us more than 2 hours to complete, but partly because we were sort of half doing this and half watching YouTube. So but safe to say it's a challenging experience and it's a satisfying experience. Absolutely. I'm not really sure what else to say, because every part of this thing is part of the escape room. The box itself has clues on it that come into the game. The packaging, the advertising, everything is part of the puzzle, part of the escape room experience. And I suppose all I can really do is show you how the game is laid out and hint at the way that the puzzles are managed, because I thought it was very clever the way that they were able to sort of give you a framework for guessing and having those guesses be wrong, as opposed to if you don't know what the answer is, then you just have to move on. If you're very sensitive to spoilers, what I would say is stop now and go and try out at least this game, if not another from the series. We definitely plan on getting another from Exit the Game, and it's brilliant. If you like escape rooms, if you like having friends and family round and working on puzzles together and figuring things out, this is a wonderful series to investigate, pun intended. If you're not overly sensitive to very minor spoilers, and I'm not going to spoil story content or any particulars of actual puzzles, but rather I want to hint at the mechanisms for puzzle solving from very early on in the story. So if you don't mind a little bit of that, definitely stick around and I'll show you how the game works, and hopefully you get a hint of why we found this so exhilarating. So this is the box. It's a fairly small but very sturdy thing, very similar cardboard to the Ravensburger games like Labyrinth, for example. Inside we have an explanation of what the game is and how it works, and then we're confronted by mysterious materials and artifacts that hint at the nature of the puzzle that we're about to tackle, including a decoder wheel. You're then invited to lay out the game as follows, starting with a series of hint and solution cards. For each element of the puzzle, designated by a symbol, so circle, cross, triangle, etc., there are 3 cards. There's the first hint or first clue, which is a low-level clue if you're a little bit stuck. The second hint or clue if you're really stuck. And then finally, if you really can't solve a particular element, there is the solution. So there's the ability to go back and try again. You don't just have to get the answer immediately. That has a really pleasing, escape room feel to it, as though there is a dungeon master in control of the whole thing. Then we have a stack of riddle cards labelled A to Z, and a stack of answer cards labelled 1 to 27. There are some other necessary puzzle solving materials and the decoder wheel. So, as is par for the course for escape rooms and Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, we're presented with a short element of story to get us going, and then we're invited to begin solving riddles. Notice on this card, for example, there are some words and some numbers, and a lot of the riddles in this game are designated by a symbol, in this instance maybe a cross, and 3 numbers, hence the decoder wheel being made up of 3 rotating series of numbers. It's actually really clever. Some of the wheels you can see through to the wheel behind. In other instances, it's a much more straightforward relationship. But ultimately, if you line up 3 numbers with a symbol at the top of the wheel. So, for example, if we were to go for the cross in this instance, the numbers 8, 2 and 0, we would get the number 9. Now, number 9, blue, then invites us to go to the answer card deck. And if we go to number 9 in the answer card deck, we will get... Oh dear, try again. And this is really how the game proceeds. You try to solve a riddle, you think you might have the answer, you put it into the decoder wheel, and then it will either tell you, no, you got it wrong, try again, or it will invite you to go to another card, which will be an invitation to pick up more riddle cards. In other words, you solved that riddle, and then you can move on to more from the riddle card deck. If you're really stuck on a particular riddle, you can go to the help cards and get a first clue, second clue, or even the solution to a puzzle that will enable you to continue with the game. So you won't be completely stuck at any point, but also you're given a couple of chances to solve the game yourself. And every part of the game is part of the experience. The box itself is covered in clues, signs, symbols, imagery, elements that will help you proceed with the puzzle. And you have to, well, literally think outside the box in order to proceed. Indeed, inside the box, the container for a couple of decks of cards in this instance is part of the end game. You have to construct something out of that at the end of this experience. The key to this story and the beginning of your adventure is with the Legend of Sir Reginald Reston's artifact. It's presented as a journal which sets you on your way and also acts as a framework for presenting and solving elements of the riddles that you'll be confronted with. There's family intrigue, there's the phases of the moon, there's a map of the cemetery, there's even a fairly clever part of this document which this is a slight spoiler. So feel free to skip ahead to the time code on screen. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. But if you shine a light behind this page, the gravestone diagrams on the other side actually act as a mechanism to reveal a hidden message. They underscore certain words on the page. This is straight out of National Treasure or some sort of Indiana Jones type adventure, and it's really exciting to have this printed document that comes with the game be so interactive, so exciting, so much like an escape room experience. When you first open the box, you're presented with this introduction to the type of game that you're playing, and there is the Helper app, which provides sounds and music and a timer for your experience. Most escape rooms time you, after all, as you're trying to solve the game. But truth be told, it wasn't a particularly good app. The moment my phone got a notification from Facebook, for example, the app exited and then forgot at what point you were in the timer. So I'm afraid we didn't fill out the certificate on the back of the instruction manual, which proudly declares just how quickly you solved the escape room, which is a key part of the escape room experience, but in this instance was hindered by a slightly shoddy app. You're better off just using the native timer on your phone, or indeed a clock in the room where you're playing. Though it's not the end of the world, it was just a slight niggle. I really like that the authors of the game are given credit in the instruction manual, and I believe that these guys have actually authored more than one puzzle for the Exit the Game series. There are a few cards advertising other escape rooms in the series. You may want to take a closer look at those. They're well worth examining. And the other escape rooms look really exciting. We definitely look forward to giving some of these a go. When we were done with this escape room experience, I shared a picture of the aftermath on the Discord server, link in the video description incidentally if you want to check it out. And it was there that Meryl suggested it looked like a tornado had hit our coffee table, and she wasn't wrong. This is a one-off experience out of the box, in so much as you're encouraged to fully interact with all of the elements of the game, the cards, the artifacts, the documents, and disassemble them, recombine them, indeed in some cases chop them up. Some of the riddle cards didn't make it out of the game in one piece, in order to fully solve the mystery of the Cemetery of the Night. But given that you can buy this game online for £10 to £20, I actually think it's quite a good value for money one-shot prospect, especially if you're playing as part of a team. And what's more, all of the paper and cardboard elements of the game are recyclable, so it's a well thought out, well presented and environmentally friendly escape room experience at home. This is essentially designed to be a single experience in a box, and it's not really a board game that you can put away and play again, although we have kept the elements of the board game, because we might make a collage or something of the games we've been playing throughout our pandemic time together. But as an experience, I'd say it was worth it. We're definitely going to be trying another from this series in the near future, and I can only continue to recommend these. It was so much fun interacting with the artifacts and the box itself and the advertisements and the supplementary materials and packaging and pages from the book and so on and so forth, to actually solve the mystery of the Cemetery of the Night. So without I can't, there's nothing else I can say without spoiling it. So all I will say is we loved it, and if you're interested, definitely check it out. Thank you guys for watching. As ever, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.